starts at 10.
Easier to stick to what's written.
Wall that wants to talk to you. I'm like, I don't
Which sequence?
guess that's not.
Just read what's
I
said.
played it, and it said.
I'm
10
on.
Wall,
You're on.
Oh, okay.
But it transcribed
We are
as it
on,
was,
guys,
I'm
we
like,
are on. So,
Why, hello there, everybody.
yes. Good morning, everyone. Today's Thursday, December 16, 2021, and we are here for a work session. And as always, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Frank, can you please take the lead?
Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Frank. Concerning announcements, I just have one announcement. Due to the rain forecast for this coming Saturday, our holiday festivities scheduled for Saturday have been rescheduled to the following day, Sunday, December 19th. The Lions Parade will take place at 3 p.m. With the bonfire following, weather permitting on the bonfire. However, the parade will end at the riverfront, and hot chocolate in the Santa House will immediately follow from 4 to 6 p.m. along the riverfront. Details will be available on our town website later on today. Okay, everyone, we're going to start with our first discussion, and we're going to change the sequence slightly. I'm going to ask Ray Coyne to please come forward to discuss matters surrounding recreation facility usage fees for 2020. Ray, good morning.
Good morning. I'm gonna need the screen for all the charts and grants I have today.
Are you being funny, or you do have charts and graphs?
No charts and grants today, no show.
No.
Just kidding, there are graphs.
Oh,
We have Jordan and Ashley
you
here
guys
from the
always
Parks
come with
Department.
charts and graphs. I can move over.
Thank you.
Okay, what we're giving you is our proposed 2022 facility rental fees. It is almost exactly the same as 2021. We just made a few adjustments. Each year, we make adjustments based on the data, based on the behavior of the groups, how many times they do it, how many times they don't show up, things like that. But I would like to say first that the team here, Ashley and Jordan, have done a wonderful job creatively, and our field rental in 2019 was $52,600. 2020 was 47 with COVID, but then this year, adding lacrosse to the ball fields, which was a huge thing, we're up to $78,000. So the trend continues to go up. We get more and more people that want to use our facilities. Ashley and Jordan turning Calverton from a baseball field also into a lacrosse field has now gained that extra $20,000. So they've been creative. They've done a great job with it, and we feel this is a strong thing. Once we get the lights, we're really going to go to the next level with this. We have a very good reputation. I think Ashley gave you the list of the groups that use the facility, how much they spend on the facility. And basically, I think the one problem that we always have is groups that cancel. And we try to curb that as much as we can, because obviously they cancel, we don't get the revenue in for that particular weekend, where somebody else could come in and do that. So what we did in the past was we did a $100 deposit, non-refundable if you cancel. So the only change we're making this year was we're bumping that to $200 non-refundable. And we're going to limit the amount of some of these groups that like to use, they like to come in and say, I want it 6 times, 8 times a year. We're going to limit them to the amount that they actually did the previous year. So hoping that'll help the numbers. I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, so basically, just because we lose, if they decide that they want to cancel like a few days before, then we lose the opportunity to rebook that weekend. So they're going to be limited to what they booked the previous year with that deposit, and if they want to book anything outside of that, what they booked the previous year, we're going to ask for full payment for the new booking, just so that we don't lose what we potentially could have made. So that's really it.
Yeah, everything else. Community centers was low this year. We just, with the COVID and everything, it was open for just a little bit. We're trying to get back to normal, then we just, you know what's going on now. So, but we're hoping to build that as the years go along. but the fields are continue, the trend is upwards, it's getting better every time. And when I got here, we didn't rent the fields at all. So, the group here did a nice job building the contacts and building it up, and we'll continue to make money on it, so.
If we ever get lights up at Veterans Park, with the increase of the revenue would be tremendous, because that would be used, I'm sure, almost every night, if not every night.
And we have this conversation all the time.
Yeah, it would
Veterans
double
Park-
at least.
Veterans Park is just a beautiful park, and we do need lights there if the town can ever
Absolutely.
afford it.
And if anybody wants to drive by there, they're getting there with the pickleball courts, almost done. So you can start see the build out. You have the dog park, you have the bocce courts, and now we have the pickleball courts just about built up there. And with the trail, that place is hopping. We're gonna need more parking soon, so that's I guess a good problem to have.
It's actually quite amazing that the numbers were as high as they were the year of the pandemic, in 2020, all things considered, but I truly believe that more people want to be outside now. I think that's one thing that the pandemic changed. So that's going to keep going up and up. And I also think you were wise to double that fee, because it just obviously wasn't enough of a bite.
Yeah, we did have a lot of cancellations this year where we could have made a little bit more. But I
Yeah.
think, the pandemic, we're extending to December now. People want to book for longer and longer throughout the year, so that's helping.
Yeah, and they're trying to make money off our field, so we want a piece of that pie. So, the town should get a piece of that pie, and we make sure everything's covered by, park attendants, field supplies, that's covered plus. We always get extra on top of that. We do align ourselves with other municipalities. I talk with them periodically throughout the year, so they all just sent me their fees for 2022, and we're pretty much in line with everybody. I think we might even be on a lower end on some of them. They have turf fields. We don't have the turf fields yet. But we just want to make sure we're in the market. We're not overdoing it or underdoing it, so we're right there.
Great. All right,
That's
Ben.
about it.
Thank you.
This is what we'll put in at the first of the year. If you have any questions at any time, just let us know, and we can make any changes that the board would like.
Ray, I hope at some point we could do new grass in the dog parks, now that you've got water there.
Well, Ashley found this thing called canine grass. Why don't you just briefly talk to her about that?
Basically turf for the dogs. So they might get the turf before us, but it's a whole filtration system, so when they do go to the bathroom on it, it has different levels of the rocks and the gravel and everything. But it's nice, it doesn't require upkeep, and,
It would look
it's very
great.
Yeah,
It would look great
it'd be really
there.
good.
Yeah, so,
Everybody's happy to get the water there, and those parks are well used as well,
Yeah,
so thank you.
yeah, I was there the other day. Well, I go every morning to Calverton to see how the progress is, and there's always a bunch of people up there with their dog. I mean, you're talking about, 30 degrees out. They're still up there with their dogs hanging out. The parking lot's like a quarter full. This is, 8 o'clock in the morning, so,
It's a regular crew, and they come at certain times.
yeah.
But they were saying, somebody sent me a message yesterday that you guys are bringing more dirt in there, so they were happy about that. Somebody maybe engineering was doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll give them credit for it, 'cause I don't know about that.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank
Great
you.
job, thank you guys.
Thank you,
Good
Ray.
job on the
Happy
pickleball
holiday.
courts in Jamesport.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
thank you.
very nice.
Yeah.
And they're on Bayberry.
They're on
starting,
Bayberry now?
yeah, they're starting,
Thank you
yeah.
very much, that's great news. Thank
All
you.
right, next I'm gonna call up our police chief. You wanna go? I just saw him. He stepped out? Yeah, he's on a call. Oh, okay. All right, so we're gonna move on to, our planning department. Please come forward, Greg, concerning a special permit for a single-story office building at 347 Main Street in Aquabog. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning.
Morning, Greg.
Good morning, Ms. Catherine. We do have Kyle Collins here. He's representative for the
Can
application.
you come forward, sir? Good morning.
Okay.
Did you want to put that up?
I can put it.
Thanks to the rescue.
I'll just keep going and hand those down.
Devin, is this on the net? On the
Yeah,
internet?
there's, building elevations are up, the site plan is up.
Okay, great.
Traffic impact statement as well as my report.
Greg, is this the one that we changed to a campus follow?
No, this
That's in the
is,
same area?
well, correct. That was some of the questions, so I'll touch briefly on the history of the application. This application, I believe, was initially submitted, I want to say in 2018.
Okay.
When the application first came in, we referred to the planning board because generally site layout is considered to be a site plan issue. There is a provision in the code in the RLC zoning district which states that buildings of a certain size, I think, for parcels 3 acres or greater in area, the proposed floor area shall be distributed into a minimum of 4 buildings, with no building having a footprint of greater than 5,000 square feet. When this application first came in, it went to the planning board. The planning board looked at it, and that is really, that code section is a guideline, so there is some room for interpretation by a reviewing board. The planning board at that time felt it was better to keep the building closer to Main Road, to keep the buildings further away from the residences to the north. So when the application initially came in, it first came in after the board's recommendations, they proposed a 2-story building there. When it came back to the town board said no to the 2-story building. They went back and revised it. Back in August of last year, it was the last time this was discussed was at the August 13th, 2020 work session. The applicant did come in with some conceptual designs, kind of getting direction before they would go and fully engineer a plan. At that time, he presented plans for a single-story, 15,000 square foot building, which was situated closer to Main Road. At that point, the board agreed and gave the applicant direction that this is the way they wanted to proceed in. So that's what we have before us now, single-story, roughly 15,000 square foot building.
Okay, so Greg, I have a question. Can you just please describe the building? It's, it looks like it's gonna be commercial.
So
There
it
were
is.
suites involved. Just describe overall the project itself. You know, how
So-
big it is, and how many stores, and...
So 15,000 square foot of medical office, I believe there's 5 suites into it, in the building.
Okay.
Yes, it's divided into 5 suites. This actually is professional office, the one across the street is the medical office one. So this is just professional office. We're not requesting the medical office on this building. But it is broken up into, actually, it's going to be broken up into 6 potential different offices. There is the building itself, and if you look at, I can walk you through, the second page is the elevations. But really, if you go to the third page, which is this page here, that is the view looking from the corner of Union and Main Road of that corner. There are a substantial number of existing trees. That was the subject of a recommendation by staff, and this board agreed that should be kept, and those were incorporated into the site plan. So this elevation actually represents the maintaining of those existing trees, as well as augmented with some additional plantings. As you can see, the intention here was to break up the architecture, so it looks like it's different buildings. There's different modulations on it, as well as different roof lines. Actually, the building itself has a wing. And if I may, let me bring up the site plan here, and you can get a better idea. There is like an atrium that runs in between the buildings that further makes it look like that it is broken into 2 different buildings. So we have the main building here, faces the parking lot, and that rendering that I showed is actually looking this direction with the existing trees and vegetation here, so that's looking here. Now there's an atrium that runs down here that breaks, and it makes this almost look like a separate building and in relationship to this building. So there was a very intention of designing this building so it doesn't look like a 15,000 square foot building. And that were the concepts that we presented a little over a year ago, back in August 2020, and that's the building we went further to engineer the site plan on.
So it's got the building facing the road. He did, some additional comments that were made by staff. We did provide some of the pedestrian connections out to the existing sidewalk here. We create almost a little pedestrian and utilize the existing infrastructure with the parking in the back. So from the main road, you're not gonna see a big parking lot. Parking lot will be hidden. Again, there's even nice sized buffers and the landscaping along Union. So again, it's not gonna impact the streetscape from Union Avenue. They have incorporated to reduce the amount of impervious surface on here, pavers. So we can, also it softens the feel of the parking lot as well. That's a general, and any other questions? There's some other renderings on there I can walk through just in relationship to the site plan. If we go to the next rendering, that is looking from Union Avenue, and it's kind of looking in this direction, kind of in the southeast direction. So it's looking at that northern facade, which you can see from Union Avenue, from the curb cut and access way. Like I said, there are substantial buffers proposed along Union Avenue. And then the last rendering is from the interior of the site. That is looking in this direction, kind of in a south-westerly direction, approximately where the dumpsters are shown here, looking back that direction.
At the time, we didn't want to do, I'm glad we're not doing the two-story building, because the
Exactly.
problem was it just did not fit in with the area.
Absolutely.
And we thought it would set a bad precedent. So this, yeah, I like it, and I love that the trees are being kept.
Yeah, I took over this application after that determination. I would have proposed a two-story building.
It says Farrell Building. Is that Joe Farrell, the developer? Okay. Yes, okay.
In the renderings, it looks like it's cedar shakes for roofing. Would that be a possibility?
I believe that is the proposal, but I will confirm that. What is shown in there is cedar. This is a similar concept, and you can get an idea if you're ever out in Southampton on the corner of Flying Point Road
Exactly.
and
Yep.
Montauk House. And I believe those are cedar shakes there.
Yeah.
So what is being shown on here, that's what's being represented as well.
That's great.
The setbacks look great. Again, what Catherine said, the one story was a must for us as a board.
Yeah.
We don't like anything to go in down there at all, but if something has to go in, we understand the property owner's rights. This is very tastefully done. Appreciate that.
It sure is.
And I love that the trees are there and you're not looking right at the parking lot. So, because it is a large building, but I think you did a good job with it. Much better changes.
One of the points, or Greg can take this, is again, the issue where at the beginning of the process is the potential traffic associated with it. This board wanted a traffic study, it was submitted, and the question is, will be reviewed during the secret process. I know that Greg referred it to McLean Associates for some initial comments. But the next stage of this review is to get to the secret process and to commence coordination. And I think you'd get a formal, I'm sure, get a formal report out of your traffic engineer reviewing that as well as DOT.
And that was my next question, because it's hard to get out there onto Main Road
Especially in the fall.
all the time, really.
So that was another thing at the last meeting, you said you wanted the counts done during that peak fall hours, so they were incorporated into the traffic study. So we just request that next meeting is to commence coordination review to get your comments from other involved agencies.
Great.
Excellent.
Thank you, Kyle and Greg.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy your holidays.
Thank you very much, Merry Christmas.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm going to ask the chief, Hegemiller, to come forward here to discuss our monthly crime stats. Chief? Good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
Did you want to, before you start on the stats, you want to discuss a little bit about the mass, chief? Why we went to that point?
Yes.
It looks like we are starting up our emergency response team just for consultation purposes. And I'll let you take it from there, Chief.
So the governor put out a mandate requiring masks for all of our town facilities and buildings, unless the only difference there is if you have a vaccine policy in place, which meaning you're only allowing vaccinated people into your building, then the mask becomes optional for people who are vaccinated. Since we don't have that policy, nor do we want that policy, masks are required for everybody inside our facilities.
And Chief, if you do have such a policy, I'm under the impression that that is considered vaccine mandates. Because
Correct.
you're gonna exclude people from town hall because they're not vaccinated. And it's critical. I do not personally believe in vaccine mandates, and we're not gonna start that in town hall. All the supervisors for Suffolk County have met last week, and we all agreed to go forward with the mask. So we're in tune with the rest of Suffolk County, and it is a mandate. It's not optional, and I know that some people called on it. A mandate is the governor's mandate, just like the mandate of the reform bill and all the other issues. When they come out, we have to abide by them. So it's not a choice
No, and
that we have, and we're not going to be doing enforcement. Our Riverhead Police Department is not going to become the mass police. Okay,
But it's
so-
an easy, I think it's an easy lift for us. I mean, we've
It
been
is.
down this road
Yeah,
before,
we've
so.
been kind of wearing them
Yeah,
anyway.
right. I don't think I ever gave it up, so.
I have
Yeah,
to say, I'm not a fan of the mask, but I do appreciate that it is a limited time only from December 13th to January. This is probably the height of flu season and cold season anyway, and then they will revisit it, from
Sure.
what I understand, at a later time. But, it just makes sense at this point to be careful.
I mean, it seems that it has an effect. I mean, the flu season was almost nil last year.
Right.
So, I mean, and as you say, it's only to January 15th when it'll be reevaluated. So.
I actually know more people who have COVID now than last year.
It seems that way. There's a lot of people
Yeah.
with COVID, so.
Also, just on another note, it was sad yesterday that we lost
Yes, very sad.
someone in our community, and prayers for them.
So I did want to bring that up as well. I happened to respond accidentally just behind the scene of the accident and witness everything firsthand. Not the accident itself, but the horrible tragedy and wreckage. Actually, the 10-wheeler turned over on our sod farm and dumped its whatever contents it had, but the driver and the passenger were in really, really terrible shape, and I stuck around for a little while, but I would, after thinking about it, like to visit the idea of maybe a four-way stop sign in that, on that road, just to slow people down. I'm not saying that the truck was driving faster than he should have been, and I'm probably sure that the car didn't make a full stop. It's a very difficult intersection with the fences as an obstruction to the view on both sides. I think it's something we should look into. It's a terrible, terrible tragedy, and to witness the aftermath of it was really incredible.
I actually came along right after it too, and I do think that discussion should be had.
It's,
I agree with Frank.
It'll definitely be added to the agenda. Our town engineer, Ken Tess, has already spoken to me about it, so definitely.
And do we have an update on the passenger that got
It's
nearly?
just flown out to Stony Brook, that's all I don't know.
I do want to say, having been there, the police department has always did a great job of containing the incident, and the first responders, the ambulance corps and the fire department were all very professional and excellently handled the situation.
Yeah, I agree. There were a lot of responders there that day, and you had people at every intersection.
There have been steps, I mean, we've taken steps at that intersection. It has oversized stop signs at it, so I mean, it's an unfortunate accident for sure.
I've seen cars in Austin Warner's nursery through the deer fence. I mean, it's not uncommon.
No.
So we really need to make steps towards the safety of that intersection.
And I would think Bob would know about that too, because that's close to your home. Thank you.
all right, Chief, you want to get into the crime stats, please?
Sure. So this is November's 2021 report, and as I told you through the email, numbers have rebounded strongly.
I know I saw.
So,
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but I think it has to do with coming out of COVID and resuming to pre-COVID numbers, so.
And Chief, this is, I know that you just met with all the other chiefs. Is this East End trend through Suffolk County?
We did have a meeting with East End Chiefs, so we did not discuss crime stats though, so.
Okay.
We're a busy town, we always have been in the past. I think probably the only ones that see this the same way we do is probably Southampton Township. So. The other townships I don't think are as affected as we are with Southampton.
And I would be interested to see the numbers compared to 2019, pre-COVID,
Right.
to see if the numbers are actually up overall.
They're
or
up
rebounding.
overall over 19.
They are.
They are. But a lot of that, as I've been saying all along, identity theft is up over 100 cases just of identity theft. So if you look at the 2019 numbers compared to this, that makes up over 50% of the increase alone,
Well,
is identity
Chief,
theft.
you're talking about the, also the violations included in there.
Correct, everything,
So
right.
I
So
know
when
we've
we-
had the discussion about what the FBI, what we
Right.
personally, Riverhead reports to the FBI, we report the violent and the serious crimes.
Right, property
So
crime.
then you add to your stats here, you add the violations, which makes it,
Right.
which increases it. I
Right,
want to
so-
make sure that there's a distinction
Right,
between that.
our stats are from our records management system, so everything that's being reported to us is captured in our number. The federal government only looks at our UCR, which is, as the supervisor said, is the violent crime and the property crime, which is the small, narrow band of crimes that are captured. Basically, violent crime and property crime, so. and I
So
think
where are
there's-
you saying the identity theft falls in these numbers here?
Identity theft falls in crime, criminal incidents.
Criminal
Right.
incidents. And one question, I'm sure there's an explanation for it, but the revenues are,
Yeah, it all has to do
Way
with.
down.
It all has to do with billing cycles.
okay.
When
So
we
they're
rec- when we
actually not
receive-
that
right.
down. Okay.
That fluctuates with the alarm.
Yeah, like next month you might see it that it's reversed, you know.
Right.
Very high and then very low in the old number.
Well, I am concerned about the crime numbers being up. Certainly been watching it along.
Oh, okay.
As I say, it's not, if you look at the UCR, it's not in those numbers. It's in our total numbers.
And also, you said 100 identity threat.
Over 100.
Yeah, that's bringing
Right.
up the crime rate.
Right.
And
And
that's
that-
something that this police department can't do. I mean, you can investigate it after it happens, you can be reactive, but our police department can't be proactive. You can't stop somebody in Nigeria to come and hack and steal somebody's identity and purchase things throughout the United States.
I mean, they're getting very sophisticated with these thefts, or whatever you want to call them. We had one last week or the week before where they were saying that it was Lieutenant Frost from our department.
Yes, I
Was going to
remember
come,
that.
right, was going to come and, you know, get you and sign charges against you if you didn't do something. And they even they spoofed someone's name that had the same last name as Lieutenant Frost. So if that came up on your phone, you would see Frost, and then you would think, okay, it's legit, and you have to be very careful with all these things that are out there.
So, Chief, is it possible we can probably, in some form or fashion, inform the public as to safety measures?
Yeah, put that out
Maybe
there. We
put
did-
it
we-
out there, put
we
it on
did
the
maybe
website.
a press release on that.
Why don't we do a press release, and maybe we can bring these numbers down and bring our crime down rate? Because,
After the Frost incident or that
Yeah.
spoofing call, then we put a press release out immediately, so people were made aware.
okay.
But aside from the identity theft, what other areas are areas of concern with rising numbers?
They were minor crimes, if anything, so criminal mischief was up. That's almost another 50 calls there. SLA checks, we did more SLA checks this year than we did last year, so that's another 30-something calls there, so things like that give us the increase.
Just to address the local or recent crimes in the downtown area. If you pick up a paper or read a headline, you're like, oh my God, oh my God. And yeah, they're not great, I agree, but they're also not random. And there's a big difference between a crime spree of random acts and a crime spree of known parties involved. And if you look at some of the stabbings and different things that have happened, violent acts, they've been people that know each other. And there was a history of some sort of problem there prior.
Right. I mean, that 1 week we had with all the assaults, they were all known to each other, so. I
Right.
mean,
I'm not
It wasn't-
uncomfortable going downtown or anywhere in Riverhead, walking around at night or any other time, because I'm not fearful that I'm gonna be a random victim. I think the victims are, some of the victims can be explained off by late night hours and maybe being in an intoxicated state and making themselves a victim, if you will. That's a big problem also. And some of these people carry their life savings on them, and they're walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning, staggering around, and they're an easy target. But in terms of safety, when I think of safety, I think, can I walk down the street in downtown and feel comfortable? I can do that. And I'm comfortable if it's my daughter or my wife doing it also. I'm not, if you read the headlines, you think, oh my God, but it's just not that.
It's not that.
It's not that. It's known entities going after each other.
The super-
Doesn't make it right, good, or anything
No,
else,
it's-
you know, but in terms of feeling safe and being in an area, the downtown area, to me, has come a long, long way, in the good side.
Sure. Supervisor and I have previously discussed exactly that fact.
We had that conversation with the chief yesterday. That's a
Yeah.
great point that you're bringing up. Coming from law enforcement, you would know that,
Right,
you
right.
know? So your robberies, your murders, and your rapes, and your assaults,
All known.
stabbings, I mean, I'm just gonna throw a number, but maybe upwards of 70% are known to each other. And
I
that
would
you
think it
can't
might
really,
be
Even
higher
more
than
than
it
that.
might be
right.
even
I
higher.
think it's higher than that.
Yeah, so you're talking about that small percentage.
Yeah.
When you look at crime, you have to see the random that's not known to each other, and then you know you have a big problem. And it doesn't appear to be this.
It all creates that perception. We always talk
It
about
is perception, yeah.
The perception is downtown is not safe, and I would argue that it is.
Yes. And Chief,
Well, the whole time I've been here, Tim, so it's like.
Exactly, I know.
I will say even last night, we had the pleasure of enjoying a concert at Suffolk Theater, and we came out like late last night and walking to the car and everything. The streets seem to be more lit up, well lighted. More storefronts seem to be more illuminated. So Main Street was actually quite a pleasure to walk down last night, see all the Christmas lights, and we specifically kind of went on both sides just to enjoy the Christmas decorations and so forth. So
As far as I know, I think more lights are coming, right? There's one here?
yes.
Yeah, so more lights are
Yeah,
coming.
there's more in the LED coming with another round of funding.
which is-
And they've made a big difference. LED lights really have made
Yeah.
a big difference. now.
And a big savings.
And once the cameras get fully installed and going, it's just another plus for downtown.
What about
A few
overdoses?
years ago, a national study was conducted of burglaries, and the study revealed that 90% of the locations that were burglarized either had little or no lights. Perfect example.
And we talked
Lighting
about
is one
that
of,
in crime prevention. You look at some of the shrubbery around some of these houses, and you're like, if a guy could work an hour trying to get into the house, nobody would see him.
lighting
There's
is,
certain things you have to take care of, right?
Shrubs.
Cut your stuff down and don't let
Yeah.
it block your windows, and lighting, absolutely. And with all the LED lighting, it's not, you're not funding PSEG anymore. You know, it's very inexpensive to use LED lighting, as opposed to some of the old lights that, you know, you just saw your electric bill go up and up and up.
And kudos to the engineering department for that.
Yes.
What about, I was asking about overdoses.
Overdoses, we had a great track record this year. We had no fatalities up until this month. We had one, like 2 weeks ago, and then we had another one yesterday. I don't know that it's a fatality yet. They took him to the hospital, so I don't know how that turned out yet.
Narcan used?
Narcan was used, CPR in progress, so it wasn't looking good. And the detectives are on both cases already as far as seeing what they can get.
I was impressed during the take-back of different medication take-back up at the highway yard, that they actually, I took a the lesson there, and they gave me the Narcan use. And I didn't realize that, Stony Brook, Peconic was offering that training through Northwell. And I was very impressed, and everybody walked out of there with the container, so you keep it, so if you ever come across somebody or something happens, and that it was available to civilians at that time.
And that take-back day pushed us over 10,000 pounds of prescription medication taken back to date, so.
Yeah, I went to the Narcan training at the Riverhead High School a couple of years ago. Was that by the school district, or who, do you remember that? That was a couple of years
I would
ago.
say probably the school district, I don't think we were involved in that one.
All right.
It would be good for town employees to all have that training.
Definitely, we're looking to getting it here.
Good, thank you.
Oh, and the Thanksgiving Eve DWI patrols
Yes.
netted only, I think, only one.
I think one, right?
Yeah, which is a good sign. There's a lot of designated drivers, but more so Uber and
Yeah.
that being used.
I was
know.
surprised too, because I think we had 4 roadblocks out there.
Yes,
So it was-
yeah, hundreds of cars
I hit them
stopped.
all that night. I
Hundreds of cars,
went
so
this
that's-
way, that way, and it's like, here we go again, okay. All right, everybody be safe.
Well, it was a pretty depressing year, so there wasn't much to celebrate that night. Perhaps the new year.
Yeah, start fresh,
But that's good news.
That's good news.
yeah.
That's what we want,
All right,
Yes.
Chief, thank you, enjoy your
Okay.
holidays.
And everybody stay safe out there.
for sure.
Oh, no, we're gonna see you back for
I'm coming back.
for our town hall holiday lunch, good.
Yep.
Did you make something?
Rum cake.
Oh.
Yeah, it's delicious. Okay, so we're gonna move on now, to resolutions, and Devin, good morning. Can you come forward, please?
morning.
The resolutions?
Okay. Everybody ready?
Give me 10 seconds.
Okay, so resolution number 1, Justice Court Department Budget Adjustment. Resolution number 2, Buildings and Grounds Department Budget Adjustment. Number 3, Budget Transfer between Self-Insured Risk Retention Workers and Workers' Comp Liability Funds. Number 4, Water Capital Project Number 82125, Wading River Booster Station Budget Adoption. Number 5, Water District Capital Project Number 82050, Budget Adoption. Number 6, Scavenger Waste District Budget Adjustment. Number 7, terminates an employee. Number 8, standardizes Parks and Recreation Permit Printer. Number 9, authorize town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for street light and traffic signal parts. Number 10, 205 Osborne Avenue, project number 82126, budget adoption. Number 11, accepts the resignation of a part-time executive assistant in the town supervisor's office. Number 12, accepts the resignation of a senior assessment clerk. Number 13, authorizes town clerk to publish and post a notice to bidders for chemicals for sewer district. Number 14, accepts retirement of assessor. Number 15, setting terms and conditions of employment for Joanne Cannon, secretary to the supervisor's office. Number 16, ratifies the appointment of a secretary. Number 17, amends Resolution 2021-774 and approves the amended agreement with Dan Bauer, DBA Road K Production, to do filming at Iron Pier Beach parking. Number 18, adopts a local law amending Chapter 289 entitled Vehicles, Traffic, and Parking Regulations of the Riverhead Town Code 289-10, Parking Prohibited, North Shore Trail Road, Wading River. Number 19, awards bid wellhead treatment for PFAS and Plant Number 5 Contract M PFAS Treatment Capital Project Number 11A, Riverhead Water District. Number 20, authorizes the town clerk to publish notice for annual audit services for the town of Riverhead. Number 21, authorizes the town clerk to publish notice for audit services for the town of Riverhead Justice Court. Number 22, ratifies the authorization for an employee to attend unmanned aircraft systems training. Number 23, accepts the retirement of a police officer. Number 24, accepts the retirement of a police lieutenant. Number 25, accepts the retirement of a police officer. Number 26, accepts a call-in recreation, appoints a call-in recreation leader to the Recreation Department. Number 27, appoints marriage officer James Wooten. Number 28, appoints marriage officer Diane Wilhelm. Number 29, authorizes agreement with Arlene Bobal for transcription services. Number 30, 2022 renewal of bid award for maintenance and emergency services, Contract M, mechanical for Riverhead Water District. Number 31, 2022 renewal of bid award for maintenance and emergency services, Contract C, controls for Riverhead Water District. Number 32, 2022 renewal of bid award for maintenance and emergency services, Contract E, electrical for Riverhead Water District. Number 33, 2022 renewal of bid award for maintenance and emergency services, Contract D, distribution for Riverhead Water District. Number 34, 2022 renewal of bid award for control valve maintenance and repair services for Riverhead Water District.
Mighty needy there, Mr. Mancini.
Isn't it?
I was thinking, Frank's been busy.
That time of year.
Number 35, authorizes town clerk to publish and post notice to bidders for propane fuel and equipment maintenance 2022. Number 36, grants special permit for Riverhead Charter School, Northville Schoolhouse, 5117 Sound Avenue, Riverhead, New York, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 600-20-4-3. Number 37, Police Department budget adjustment. Number 38, authorizes supervisor to sign license agreement with the Bid Management Association and Riverhead Chamber of Commerce. And number 39, accepts highway superintendent's personnel report and request for town board resolution to effectuate personnel request.
Okay, great. Thank you, Devin. Okay, in a moment, I'm going to ask you to go into, I'm going to ask for a motion to go into executive session to discuss the following items. Litigation, matters relating to pending litigation in the matter of Geico General Insurance Company, also known as ASO Bonnie Roth versus Riverhead Police Department. Matters related to pending litigation concerning the Phoenix Homebuyers LLC versus the Town of Riverhead. On the topic of contractual matters surrounding an agreement, lease for cell use, and concerning legal matters arising from town code violations, bench of covenants and potential litigation, regarding 190 Main Road in Aquabot. Can I please have a first and a second to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So moved, and everyone be safe, and hopefully we'll see you Sunday at the holiday parade.